While states like New York and North Korea, the Democratic People's Republic of California, cling to their trespasses of our God-given right to keep and bear arms, gun license requirements for the majority of these United States of America are shattering the establishment's gun control narrative. It's 2023. So what's the state of constitutional carry in America? Welcome to 2A for Today.
They say I'm part of a global plan. I don't think so. It's too hot, it's too cold. You know what? The weather changes.
Here's the news, Dad.
Nope. It's hard to tell what's real and what's fake these days.
Ditch the fake news and always get the truth. Go to thenewamerican.com.
So what's the state of constitutional carry in America? The iron fist of tyranny has been turning up the heat for over a decade, and the trespassing of our rights that we endured the last few years substantiated all of our fears. With that said, over the past 13 years, we have states jettison obtrusive restrictive carry permitting schemes en masse. In 2010, constitutional carry, or the legal public carrying of a handgun, either openly or concealed without a license or permit, was only legal in 2 states in America. The Bernie Bro state of Vermont wasn't just the first state to legalize marijuana.
I smoked marijuana a couple of times. Didn't do much for me. Other people, I guess, have different impacts.
Just a couple times?
That's right, true.
It didn't do much for you?
Yeah, it made me cough.
Where were you getting it?
I don't know. I was in Vermont, northern Vermont.
Oh, that's the problem.
Maybe,
You gotta get it from here. It'll do something for you.
The Green Mountain State also stood alone for over 200 years as the only state that had constitutional carry which was made legal in 1793. Alaska was next when they implemented constitutional carry in 2003. And then came Wyoming and Arizona in 2010 and 2011. But as we begin 2023, there are now 25 states that have dropped permit requirements altogether or have provided for certain form of permitless carry, either concealed or open. But those states still require a permit for one or the other. The majority of these laws have been signed in the past 5 years. Mind you, it's not a free-for-all. The laws vary by state, and they all have some form of constitutional or permitless carry. There are, however, other restrictions, like the law only applies to state residents or certain types of firearms. Also, there may be restrictions on where you can't carry, like government buildings, schools, etc. A consistent feature, though, is that permitless carry only applies to those that can legally own and carry a firearm and aren't disqualified for reasons like felony convictions. In states that don't have full constitutional carry, it's more common that they will allow open carry of a firearm without a license and restrict concealed carry so that it requires a permit, as opposed to the other way around. However, North Dakota upholds permitless concealed carry while still restricting open carry to only those that have obtained a permit. And Georgia's SB 319 was signed into law on April 12, 2022, which makes it legal to carry a concealed handgun without a license. However, it's currently unclear whether open carry is legal without a Georgia weapons carry license. As of January 1st, 2023, citizens of the great state of Alabama no longer need to carry a license to conceal a firearm. However, in order for this law to pass, lawmakers had to include a requirement that a firearms prohibited person database be developed by the Alabama Law Enforcement Agency. The agency had the database live by October 2022, so law enforcement officers could become familiar with it before the carry law went into effect. This database allows police officers to immediately access information that tells them if a certain individual, like someone they pull over at a traffic stop, is prohibited from carrying a firearm due to their criminal record or anything else, like a Facebook ban.
Say if the officer is encountering an individual that is prohibited from carrying a firearm, the officer receives this knowledge, and their level of awareness is heightened, and that allows them to protect themselves better.
The free state of Florida is still infringing on the right to keep and bear arms with their failure to implement constitutional carry. They also completely forbid open carry of firearms, even with a permit. But Governor Ron DeSantis is very confident that this is about to change.
I'm pretty confident that I will be able to sign constitutional carry into law in the state of New York.
And that Florida will follow in the footsteps of his neighboring state of Georgia. DeSantis says that passing a constitutional carry law is now a legislative priority in Florida. He made this statement a few weeks ago, right after House Speaker Paul Renner made a public pledge that Florida's House of Representatives would approve and push for this freedom. Will South Carolina be next? Not likely. Constitutional carry has been killed by Republican senators and House reps here year after year. Nebraska's bill was shut down last year by only 2 votes thanks to the filibuster. But on January 5th of this year, LB 77 was reintroduced by Senator Tom Brewer, and it already has support from 26 senators. Allie French, the founder of Nebraskans Against Government Overreach, said, "It should have been passed last year. It was unfortunately hung up to political malarkey. I guess it's about the best we can put up." She goes on to say, "It's one that we all know that Nebraskans wholeheartedly support across the entire state." To a blog, The Truth About Guns recently pointed out, every single governor who signed a constitutional carry law, either in their current term or a previous term, won re-election. This includes Governor Greg Abbott of Texas, Governor Mike DeWine of Ohio, and Kim Reynolds of Iowa. The Truth About Guns stated on their blog that even the people of Uvalde, who suffered the horrendous tragedy of 19 children and 2 teachers murdered at Robb Elementary School in May of this year by a deranged school shooter, decided to vote more than 60% for Governor Greg Abbott, who won again, signed permitless carry into law. And in addition, a Republican challenger to the state senator representing the area won the Uvalde area by more than 17% and boasts support for the constitutional right to carry on his website. So, with the holdouts and Republican supermajorities in Republican stronghold states, will they get the whip this year and shackle their citizens from infringements on the right to bear arms? Here's looking at you, South Carolina. That concludes our program for today. But again, in the coming weeks and months, 2A for Today, we'll be talking with experts, scholars, trainers, and all forms of gun right activists and Second Amendment proponents to answer the many questions that we all have and unpack the various laws and trespasses of our rights that have already been enacted and those that are on the horizon. Again, if your right to bear arms and keep them is important to you, make sure to subscribe to the New American Magazine and get on the top daily headlines mailing list so you get an email alert anytime we upload a video or stream a live event. And share these videos with your family and friends who feel the same, or those that are riding the fence between liberty and tyranny who need a little more convincing. You've been watching 2A for Today. My name is Zoe. Post your comments or questions and we'll try to address as many as we can, as fast as we can in the coming weeks and months. Thank you for watching 2A for Today.
Sophia paused before the door. It read, Department of Bidigital Convergence. Just inside was a new world, a better world, the one of everlasting life, of no pain, of no loss, of no problem. She entered the chamber and her surroundings changed. She saw around her an infinite field of waving golden grain surmounted by cloudless blue sky. The AI voice whispered gently in her mind, Welcome to the Singularity. She couldn't see it and couldn't feel it, but her body had almost instantly been covered by a swarm of tiny gray multi-legged bots that melted through her clothes and into her skin. Not perceiving the nightmare, her eyes had already been consumed and the rest of her body was dissolving as the bots digested her flesh. She felt only a warmth suffusing her being. Drowsy, she drifted to sleep, and her last thought was one of panic. Would she ever wake? Could a nightmare vision like this be an outcome of the much-hyped transhumanist technological singularity? Enter the world of the future as illuminated by the experience of the past in Endgame, the new book by Dennis Barrett, the publisher of the New American Magazine, and find out how the disastrous COVID pandemic response fits with the technocratic elite's thirst to create a transhumanist utopia. Get Endgame from shopjbs.org with free shipping with code ENDSHIP, ENDSHIP. Or get Endgame and the Great Reset Collector's issue of the New American Magazine and get free shipping plus an additional 20% off both with code END20, END20.